helping me. Good job. You can always use good help. So while Bud's entertaining the kids, working in the barn. Working on this. 'Cause that's, yeah. Good time.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
That is like asphalt. That's not good. Did it get you?
No.
I'm gonna have to hammer and chisel this stuff. I can't put that back together like that.
Darn.
I'm gonna use the welding hammer.
Okay, stuff's flying. Could be worse.
You say it could be worse?
Yeah.
How?
It just could be.
Could be broken?
Well, I think that your screwdriver's not supposed to go through it.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's like digging for treasure.
But you know you're not going to find anything but rust and dirt. I'm already over it. We just started. This is not the fun part. This is the, I don't want to do it part, pay somebody else to do it part. But we don't have anybody else to pay to do it, or the money to pay it. I'm sure this is how the professional shops do it. Maybe I can soak it in the bottom of White River.
You won't want it back after it's been in the White River.
That's kind of my point.
See what happens when you sass?
Well, I'm sure I've learned my lesson.
Psych.
What are we going to do for dinner?
Well, are you wanting a hot meal? Or cereal?
Looks like it's cereal. Got out my drill, my corded drill, to do some of this grinding, but I don't think it's supposed to sound like that. Dang it. Oh yeah, it's smoking already. That's not good. You ever found yourself wondering how to replace all the bushings and all the front suspension parts on a 1956 Ford Fairlane? Well, until recently, neither have I. But yet, here we are. We're going to go through it today. So far, the only thing I've done is I took these 3 bolts out of this upper A-arm, which are those 3 bolts. Now I'm going to take the upper A-arm and lock it into the vise and see if I can get these nuts off so that I can get these bushings changed. And thankfully for us, I went to Anderson Restorations. Well, I went to the website for Anderson Restoration and bought a whole new bushing set, all new ball joints, all new inner and outer tie rod ends. There's all kinds of stuff in here. And to help make it easier, I've had most of the parts up here in the freezer, getting all nice and cool. We got to try to get that nut off, and we got to try to get that nut off so that this whole piece will slide out, so we can replace that bushing and this bushing. Let's see if we can do it this way. Oh, nope. Oh, that one broke. Broke free. Let's try this one again. Oh, nope. Impact. Now, I do believe in order to get this out, got to take the bushings out first. And then it should slide out one end. I wonder how I'm going to get those out of there. Puller? I don't have a puller. I should probably take some pictures of this. Just in case. Holy crap, that is a pain. And that took forever. But what I finally ended up doing, I burnt out a little bit of the old rubber, and then I just kept clamping this down in a vise and squeezing it all the way around to break that seal right there. And then I put it up here on the vise, like so. Took my ball joint popper, whatever you want to call it, put it on there, gave it a couple of good taps, and wouldn't you know it, it worked. Old one is out. Can't believe it actually come out. I was getting a little worried there for a while. So now that that end is out, the bearing the bushing we just took out, should be able to just slide this out that end like so. It should be off. I'm going to mark that first. So I marked that with a W, but this end is 3 inches from this point to here. This one's only like 2.5, 2 3/4 inches, so makes sense. There's more washers on the longer end. Just started looking at the other end of the upper A-arm bushing, and I think it's probably going to be beneficial if I just go down and get a ball joint installer remover. I think it does both. Probably saved me a lot of time and headache on the other 6 that I got to take out like this. I only got one more to do like this on the other side. But I have this one and both of the lowers to take out. Probably be easiest just to rent the tool. It's free. Ooh, the lovely wife's coming. I'm going to wait on the puller for that. I'm going to use the puller for that one. I'm going to use the puller for that one. But I guess while I'm waiting, I just popped off the upper ball joint, which it's still in the mail because it was back ordered. I just popped off the lower control arm, so it's going to completely get replaced. I think I'm going to take this steering knuckle off right here and get it all cleaned up. And then I'll take the 2 bolts off that hold the lower ball joint to the lower control arm off. Then pop the lower ball joint off because I got a new one of those in the freezer. And then it's just cleaning and putting back together. Ooh, that one came off fast. It's gunky. That steering linkage is disgusting. And it's thick. There's some spots in there where it's really thick. So we're going to try to make quick work of it on the grinding wheel. upper and lower control arms are off. And I have succeeded in making a giant mess. I got both the upper and the lower ball joint off. They are there. Working on cleaning that up some. And I thought this would come off. And I took those two bolts out and started to shake, and they fell down in there. So, looks like I have to take the tire off and the drum and retrieve those two bolts. Well, we ended up, that's completely apart. So all that can get cleaned. Wheel is off. Parts on the floor over here. Parts cleaned and getting painted over here. And a bunch of parts up here that'll probably be getting replaced. I know we're getting replaced. Both ball joints, upper and lower, and the idler arms. Those are all getting replaced. Those are all brand new. They are all right over here. There's the new arms. Inner tie rod in. Even got new bushings for the sway bar. So probably time to clean up, because it's raining outside now. Probably rain for the next, I don't know, 4 days, I think is what it said it's going to do. But that will give me time to get all these parts cleaned up, the other shipment to come in that's we're still waiting on, and get everything primed, painted, cleaned, ready to put back together. Then once that one's done, we have a whole other one still to go. I think that's going to do it for today. Uncharted territory. Just got in and started taking bolts off, and everything come apart. So now it's just a bunch of cleaning, waiting for the other parts to come in, and getting the bushing puller. But for now, it's just a lot of cleaning, waiting for parts, and then we'll pick back up once everything's in and we start going back together. Well, I don't know exactly how long it's been, but the Earth and Sun have done a lot of this, or a lot of this, however you want to look at it. And I really got tired of just filming myself cleaning parts and priming parts and painting parts. So I just stopped all that, but I have got them all completed. One side, completed, cleaned, primed, painted, ready to go back together. All of those parts are on this little bitty tiny table. So let's come on in and take a look at what we got, and then we can start getting this stuff reassembled before I start tearing apart the whole other side. So here's our table of beautifully recrafted, rebuilt, new parts. Steering knuckle turned out really nice. Got the hub, got the backing plates, upper A arms. I never did go and get a puller, but I did manage to get all of the bushings out of here, which was a nightmare, but we did get it. We got some new parts. I aligned this one with the old one. Got our new upper ball joint and our new lower ball joint. Everything is ready to go back together. And I got parts way over there in the refrigerator, cooling off, so that hopefully they can slide in here a little bit easier when we go to put it together. Guess we'll start with the easy stuff. Try to make it look like I know what I'm doing when it's obvious that I don't. So we'll take whatever this is. I do know this goes in here, like so. I don't know if those came from the factory like that, but it's a weird little thing. Now we got that on. So then we can put our steering knuckle through here. Hub, steering knuckle, whatever it is. This goes in here. Give it a little love. Then we can put our washer and our nut on this one. Washer and nut on that one. Then I do believe this should go on like so. And our nuts go on there. And nut goes on there. Voila. Okay, upper ball joint should go right on there like this. A castle nut on it. Well, that took some finagling, but it is in there. I haven't folded the pin over yet. Top one goes in just like so. This big old lock washer goes on there. Is it a 15/16? Yes. Well, that don't work either. Okay, now we got it. And cotter pin, and fold that over later. Okay, so top and bottom are in, and they both move. I will re-grease them just to be sure. Okay, what's next? Upper and lower control arms. Okay, well, I just measured this distance, and there's about a 2 millimeter difference on the new part, so I'm gonna have to grind a millimeter or so off of each side. Plus these are kind of rounded, bulgy. These are nice and square and flat on the old one. Hate to do that to new parts, but I beat it with a hammer and it didn't go back on, so grinding it is. I'm pretty sure I know I'm an idiot, but man alive, nothing on that new ball joint was in alignment. Not a single thing. The angles were different, the thicknesses were different. None of this lined up right. I had to grind and bend and grind and bend just to get it to do anything. But it's on. That's all that matters. I did have to use the original hardware, because even the hardware they sent me, the bolts are too big for the original holes in the upper control arm. But that's why I kept and cleaned up the old bolts. There we go. Upper A arms installed. Upper ball joints installed. Lower ball joint installed. Steering knuckle installed. Let's go see what else we got. Well, looks like it's going to be the same issue with the lower ball joint and lower control arm. This one is a lot closer. It's just a little bit thick in these areas, so I should be able to make quick work of that one. I don't think that other upper ball joint looks any better on this side. If we lay something flat across it, it doesn't really line up. The angles aren't really right. Try to put something flat across there. There's a big gap there and a big gap there. That center post is jacking everything up. I'll have to do a little bit on each one of these, but a big hunk out of that right there. I really don't believe that you all just sit there and watch me do something you know was wrong. You should have said something. I would have listened. Trying to put the lower control arm on, and I can't get the bolts through the top down to the bottom the way they came from the factory with the steering knuckle on. So I got to take steering knuckle off, put the lower control arm bolts on, then put the steering knuckle back on. Sure, why not redo the same thing 5 times? That makes perfect sense. I don't know why anybody does anything any differently. Why would you do it once when you could do it 5 times? That's just dumb. I'm pretty sure what that noise I heard a while ago was me losing bolts all over the floor. Sorry, that was me losing sockets all over the floor. No idea where it went. I do believe the only thing I got left that I can actually do anything with is the tie rod ends. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm also going to go down and get a bushing installer, because now that I got everything together, I don't want to take it all apart again to clamp it in on the vise. So I'm going to rent the right tool to get the bushings installed, which I should have bought to take it out, but I can still use it to take it out of the other ones. Probably be easier. That's probably better. Well, like my wonderful grandmother always said, it's great from afar, but far from great. But if you take a look at a comparison of what we started with and how this one looks compared to how this one looks, I'm pretty happy with it. Still got that one to do though. Ugh. Okay, it has been quite a while again, and I have made very little, if no progress on installing these bushings. Instead of renting a ball bearing kit, I bought one, and it does absolutely nothing for what I'm trying to do. You can't get it lined up, you can't get enough pressure on it, you can't hold it still long enough. Nothing worked. So I ended up just beating these out of there when I did it. I beat on stuff to the point where I warped it, and I had to go back and file it down so it would work again. So this kit is basically junk, and I'll never use it again. But I can't take it back because I damaged it. I managed to get one bushing in, which was a fight. Then when I tried to put the one on this end in, I actually damaged it because it wasn't going in all the way. Might have been going in crooked, but I don't think it was. So to get it out, I had to beat it into submission again to get it out, so ruined bushing. So the bushings that are supposed to go in the lower control arm, which are these, got the little grooves in it there, says how far to go in. I compared it to the one that's still together. They don't even come close to fitting. Well, they're close. So basically what I'm saying on this one is I am throwing in the towel. I'm going to have to take it somewhere. I'm going to have them pressed in. I got to buy a new bushing. I don't even know if it's the right ones. I bought the kit they told me I was supposed to get. They say it's the right ones, but it's not fitting. I should have just left it all alone. I want to get the car down off of the jack stand so we can actually get it moved around and get it set so we can get like ride height set and all that good stuff. Get the motor in, transmission, which I still got to pick up, and start getting that stuff together. But I'm kind of at a standstill as far as the front suspension goes. I can throw one side back on. I could probably make this work just to get it down. But I decided for now I'm just going to move on to some stuff that I don't have to spend a bunch of money on. I still got tons of cleaning to do. I got painting to do. I got interior to do. There's still lots and lots to do. So I'm going to turn my focus onto some of that, get some of the other stuff ready while I work on figuring this out. I'm really tired of seeing this car sitting here on the jack stands. It probably hadn't moved off the jack stands in 2 years. Just this winter is when we really got serious about trying to do something. And we just hit one snag after another, but we're not giving up. We're going to keep on going. This will be on the road one day. But today, it's hot, I'm sweaty, I'm on vacation, I'm going inside the house. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for commenting, thanks for supporting us. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one.